I've been awake for 10 minutes, and I'm eating pepperoni and cheese out of a tiny plastic bucket that I bought from Wawa, and having a tall boy, but the tall boy is a soda, because apparently they make tall boy sodas now. And my name is Curtis, and this is the Every FNFF podcast.
And my name's Carl.
And I'm Alex.
And we have a guest today, a very special guest.
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
I don't know how to introduce myself. I'm not good at this kind of thing, but my name's B.
It's okay. We've been doing it for 2-3 years, and we're still not good at it, so.
Yeah.
So when you log into Twitch, you don't say, "What's up, gamers?" It's your boy.
Rise and grind,
No.
gamers, let's get this bread. And by bread, I mean channel points on twitch.tv/Eyesonbee.
Pretty much, yeah.
There you go.
B, you have one of the best Twitch channels I've ever seen, to the point where, like, I have actually put in, like, channel points and rewards of my own on my own Twitch, because I was like, yeah, this is like a B type thing. Like, it's like super fun.
I inspire a lot of people to come up with channel point redeems, and that's my one pride of Twitch.
We've done a very, very good job with it. So listeners, do absolutely go watch her play some video games. I think you just beat Legend of Dragoon, right?
Yeah, and Final Fantasy IV and The Bouncer. I'm killing it this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Right on, right on. And speaking of Final Fantasy IV, do you want to tell us, like, your history with the game?
Yeah, so this was the first Final Fantasy I ever played.
Nice.
On the Super Nintendo. My dad was a gamer, and he was a second shift worker, so he would come home at like 11 p.m. and play video games, and I would stay up watching him, even though I shouldn't have. And he was really into RPGs and stuff like that, but we played Secret of Mana together, because that's co-op. And then I watched him play some of this, and I was like, you know what? I want to do it on my own. So I was 4, and I started playing it all by myself. I knew how to read already, miraculously. I still don't really believe this, but my dad swears that I would just come and ask him, like, what does this word mean? What does spoony Bart mean? Like,
What does octogenarian mean?
Yes. Yeah. So it actually took me about 2 years to beat it. I ended up being around 6 years old when I beat it, because, I was a kid, and sometimes I'd get lost in a cave for like 2 months, but that was it.
I mean, the end of this game is not easy, so to be able to beat it at all when you're, like, younger is incredible.
Yeah, I'm kind of
the
shocked that I
worst-
can beat some of this.
You level up to a 6-year-old to beat it.
So, for me, I would get lost all the time. So I think I hit probably level 85 by the end of the game. But the worst part was I had to restart at the final boss, because my younger sibling knocked the Super Nintendo and it, like, messed it up, and we lost everything.
Oh, you hate to see it. I have a very similar story from my childhood, where my dad, he wasn't a gamer. He played exactly one video game. I think there's actually a picture of him playing Castlevania, but he only really played and beat one video game, and it was The Legend of Zelda. And it was the same sort of thing, where he was a postal worker. He was a letter carrier, so he would get home from a long day at work, and me and all my siblings would watch him play Zelda, and we were so excited. And one night he stayed up super late, got all the way to the end, was about to beat it, and was like, you know what? I want to show the kids. I want they've been watching me play this game for a while. I want them to experience this with me, so I'm going to wait until tomorrow after work. What he didn't realize is that my one older brother, Tommy, wanted to play it and reset the Super Nintendo without holding down both buttons, or not the regular Nintendo, I mean. Holding down both buttons to make sure it's saved, and completely wipe the file. So my dad got home from work. He's all happy. He's like, come on, kids. I'm going to save the princess. Come check it out. And he boots up the game, and we're all there, like, super excited. And then it's just blank screen, and he's just like, my file's gone. So he had to go through the entire game again and beat it again, which he did eventually do. But
That's incredible.
Those were the good old days of gaming.
My dad was pre-Twitch, like, recording his game content. He had, like, a VHS recorder, and he'd hook it up to the our VHS. I don't know how it worked, but it was
like a VCR or something, maybe?
Yeah, with the VCR, he'd hook up the camera to it and then somehow record the Super Nintendo. And he had just a VHS tape of every single game he beat, the end part of it.
That's incredible.
That's so cool. The analog VODs.
I wish I still had it.
Did he actually use a camera or did he use a VCR?
I know it was a VCR and there was the camera was set up whenever he was beating a game.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's so sick. So your dad invented Twitch.tv.
Yeah.
In a sense, yeah.
Yeah, and you also have a famous relative that you let us know recently that
that's
blew
right.
my mind. You just have a famous family.
I guess so.
I am to understand that one of your family members invented a lovely piece of food stuff that is enjoyed worldwide.
Yeah, so the history there is that I'm pretty sure the idea of funnel cake existed before, but she made the funnel cake of fair food fame.
Incredible.
Interesting.
Also, one of my favorite things. Like, if I'm going to a fair, that is the goal.
I forget. you just
funnel
casually,
cake.
you casually mentioned that in a stream at one point. And we're like, wait, what? I was like, is that real? Because that's so cool. And you're like, yeah, that's real. I was like, oh my god. I was like,
I think outside
starstruck.
of Pennsylvania, though, it doesn't feel like funnel cake is as appreciated because I've never had a good one out here in California, so I don't know.
You gotta bring it out there. You gotta bring the family recipe there and change it up.
Well, I don't know how to make it. I'm
a friend of mine runs the beignet truck, which is kind of a similar sort of thing. I should have him start making funnel cake to spread that to LA.
Oh,
Love it. So, what are we doing this week?
What did we just do?
What did I just say?
I guess we got the cool souped up hot rod that was not a bait car.
The Falcon.
Oh god, the bait car.
It's called the Falcon, and I didn't get it
the
until
Falcon.
Alex.
Yeah,
I didn't get it until Alex said last time, and I was just like, "Oh, they really did name them. They named them the Falcon and the Enterprise," and I never understood.
The octogenarian Falcon.
But yeah, we're at least tentatively. It seems like we're done with the Tower of Babel finally. Glad to be out of there.
Yeah, we quickly find out that we can't really fly very many places.
It won't go over the lava. Yeah.
No, it's too spicy.
Heat too spicy. Can't get over the marinara. Absolutely not.
So I guess we return to the Dwarven Castle, right?
It's really the only place to go right now. Yeah. And it doesn't really tell us exactly where to go in the Dwarven Castle, but the thing is there aren't locations, right? The only two places to go on this piece of land that we're kind of confined to is either the Tower of Babel, which we've been explicitly told, like, haha, we're out of here, done with this place.
Yeah, we just got out of there
Castle.
with our lives. So it's like, we can go to the cave that is the exit from the Dwarven Castle towards the Tower of Babel, the Dwarven Castle, or the Tower of Babel. So
that's right.
Not too many options.
But yeah, as soon as we walk into the, is it just called the Dwarven Kingdom or what?
I think so. I think it's Dwarven Castle or Fortress. No, Dwarf Fortress is a video game. Never mind.
But there's a few NPCs walking around that are new to us, which are lovely pink bearded women. And one of them does say, the hole leading to the Sylphs Cave not long ago. It made quite a mess down here. We rescued a strange old man from the rubble. He's recovering in the infirmary.
Oh,
Interesting.
Boy.
Interesting. It took me a while to figure out where the infirmary was.
Yeah, I think it's not the inn, is it?
It's like, it's near the inn. I think it's like upstairs from the inn and then in like a small room that is also like there's a big room and there's like the item shop and the weapon shop. And then there's also a smaller room within that room that is the infirmary. I think. I could be wrong. The layout of this castle is kind of weird.
Doesn't it go underground too partially, or am I making that up?
I think you might be right. Yeah, like there's a lot of like you have to go up to this like tower and then across a bridge and stuff. It's the layout's kind of wild, but
since we are back here, I did manage to stumble into the developers.
Did you do all the extra stuff you were telling me about?
It's really fun because I was wondering if because every version has different people in the developer on team because they have to port it, and I was really excited. Like, okay, what's the DS team have down here? Because we've talked about it as basically like the kind of like in-world credits that you can just like interact with each of the people working the game, and I thought now that we're back here at the castle, it'd be a good time to check it out.
Yeah.
But There's a few people like Ari Yoshioka. He just turns you into a pig. And then he turns you back into a human just for fun.
Okay, I was gonna say like, hey, this isn't Mysidia. We didn't do anything to these people.
That's the developers just talking shit on their fans.
And there's a guy at the top, So Takeuchi, who's the battle programmer, and you immediately get into like basically a boss level like fight with him, and he does, and like I actually like game overed on this, but you don't actually have to like start over. You just get kicked out, and then you're at full health.
I was gonna say
but
like
it took a long time to get through this because he has a black chocobo there, a cleric, a dancer, and him who's just looks like a dude with a sword, not even like a knight, just a guy. It's rough. It took me forever to wear him down.
This is in the 3D version?
Yeah.
Wait, why went? Oh, I guess. No, I tried to go here on the 3D version before. I guess I couldn't get in for some reason.
There's a few things I think maybe, and they just didn't correct it for. Maybe they got rid of it for the Steam version because they didn't feel like making it make sense. Because there's a few things that maybe are DS specific.
Maybe so.
Could be wrong.
They weren't able to get the release from the developers to have their likenesses used.
I met Quality Assurance Tomokazu Nagamori, who says, "My name is Debugging Way.
Debugging Way.
I travel the world in search of bugs. But lately I've been able to maintain any level of quality at all, and I keep getting in trouble with my managers. A Debugging Way who can find no bugs is no Debugging Way at all. I think I'll make an honest living searching for summoning items instead." And then this Debugging Way has become Honest Living Way. And then he just disappears.
That's incredible.
There's Tamura, who's like, he's just a frog, and he's like, "I'm one of the graphic designers. Hope you enjoy the new graphic overhaul. Hot diggity."
Hot diggity.
If you guys were in the dev room, what would you be?
Oh yeah, what would I be?
I guess you'd be producer, because that's what you are for the pod.
I like this guy named TK, who's just a pig. Like the two artists that are in the office.
Or do you mean like what enemy do you be?
Oh yeah, like what?
I like to think I would be like a black mage. I don't know.
I think I'd be a flan.
Frog.
Frog,
nice.
I like the mini mages. They're very small.
I would want to be a sculpture now that I think about it.
They have, instead of Nobuo Uematsu, they have Nobia Umachino. Like, as if he's like a Italian composer instead.
Nobuo Umachino. He making a good riffs in the marinara.
Yeah, you just talk to him. He says, "Me, I'm just a simple farmer."
Incredible. That's amazing.
He's so funny. I feel like anytime he's in one of these dev rooms in games, he says something that's like really funny.
He has a great sense of humor for these things, yeah.
But the other two composers that we know is Junya Nakano and Kenichiro Fukui.
Kenny F. to his friends.
Yeah. Junya Nakano says, "I shave and shave, but I can't get rid of this Uemachino stash." He's just stuck with a mustache, I guess.
You work with Nobuo and you just start growing it.
I wonder if I've been listening to too much of Mr. Uematsu's music.
That is so good.
That's really
I
funny.
love that. That's so good.
It's contagious.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then instead of Kenichiro Fukui, it says Cromano Fukui.
Mm.
And he says, "We really outdid ourselves this time. I think I'm especially in love with the theme of love. The music is amazing, and it's arranged perfectly. I like to arrange a lot of FF4 songs for the Black Mages to play."
Ooh.
Oh, that's
band.
cool.
Yeah, very nice.
Shout outs to the Black Mages. I'm sure it's Bandcamp Friday somewhere. So
It's Bandcamp Friday somewhere.
And then he says, "I hear the last dungeon is pretty tough. Hang in there until the end, all right?"
It's pretty
Thanks.
tough.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. There's also a chest in the middle of the room on this where it says, you open up the chest and it says, "Obtained kilobyte of memory." And there's a little voice that says, "Kamichi," and it says, "Use it wisely, ... Actually, I think I need that back. It says, "Lost kilobyte of memory."
That's awesome.
It's very good.
That's cool.
Yeah, then there's like the translator who's like, "Fans likely dose, but the sand ruby wasn't a ruby at all, and the twin harp, as it were, was no harp at all. Turns out the bard was really spoony, though. We checked."
that's really good. I love that they're like, well, we can't change that line, so we got to write that in.
Right.
The producer is also like, "Hello, I'm the producer of this game. Allow me to personally thank you for playing. Thank you with my fists, that is."
Oh, shit.
And you get in a boss fight with him, but it's just he shows up as a little white.
Oh,
He
really?
just
Oh,
shouts,
that's cute.
"Show me your whitekin."
Oh my gosh.
Whitekin. That's incredible.
And I just kicked his ass.
Let me thank you with my fists.
It's very good.
That's how I'm going to start thanking people,
Yeah.
particularly Curtis.
Okay, the last one. There's a random encounter here with what looks like like the Necronomicon from Evil Dead, and it says Ito, and you're fighting through him, and it just says, "I have a riddle for you." And as you're fighting through it, he says different things. I start with S and end with X. Between them, I have an E. What am I?
What?
Defeat me, and you may have the answer. Hint: in the E, the middle is but one of two. Oh, Seeks? You were thinking something naughty? Yes, I knew you'd figure it out. The answer is Square Enix.
Oh, damn.
That's incredible. What?
They threw me for a loop because the versions that I'm playing was before it was Square Enix.
Oh, yeah.
I'm thinking in terms of Super Nintendo, you know?
But anyway, that is my fun adventure visit back to the door.
That's incredible.
Like, I need to do this before I go to the infirmary because I don't know when I'm going to be back here next.
That's much better than the riddle in Super Mario RPG.
Yeah. I played the Pixel Remaster version, and now I regret not checking the room because now I'm curious on the changes there.
I'm glad you brought that up because there is a very significant change that I've heard of in the Pixel Remasters. It is just not there. They took it out of the Pixel Remaster, apparently. And I had mentioned this on stream. I think we had talked about it at some point, or I got that information somewhere. And a friend of mine from the Demon Souls speedrunning community, Gidano, he was in my chat and he was like, no, he's like, I just played it. I'm pretty sure the dev room's still there. And I was like, oh, well, I'm glad, we got that information wrong. I'll be sure to shout you out on the podcast for correcting us. It's very important. And then like 10 minutes he came back. He's like, actually, I just went to check and that like wall is still there, but you can't get in there and there's no dev room. I was like,
damn it.
They took out the fun.
Damn,
they took all the fun stuff.
Rip.
Okay, good. I mean, not good, but I'm glad I didn't miss it.
Exactly.
Good.
You're still on that 100%.
No fun zone.
DLC, let's go.
But there is a special boy here in the infirmary of the castle. And I like when we try to
possibly fell from that hole.
Who could have possibly fallen from that hole?
Tella? Is that you?
Someone else has been to hell, but hell was full, so I came back.
So we came back.
Yeah. But Sid is here, and he's incredibly alive. So
hell is full. Can you come pick me up?
And like the dwarves actually will be like, hey, you can't go back here. You can't talk to this person. They're recovering right now. And he'll like scream and shout, and he's like yelling at them. And he's like, who's there? I want to talk to them. What's going on? And then you talk to him, and he's like, oh, it's you guys. And oh my God, Sid, you're alive. And
I think the running joke into it in the DS version is that the people are like, he's bedridden, but he still has energy to complain about the food we feed him.
Yeah.
And then as you're waking him up, is like, what is it? Time for dinner again already? I tell you,
where's my
food? On here to do some work. If I have to eat one more, like he just won't stop eating, but at the same time, he's just gonna like be whining about it the whole time.
There's a nice interaction between Edge and Sid, or
Love
Edge
it.
just says, "Who's this geezer?" and Sid's like, "Geezer, who's this punk kid?" And Edge says, "Watch your mouth, windbag. I'm Edge, Prince of Elben, Eblin, I should say."
They said Codger, I think, in the 3D version. Who's this Codger?
That's
Yeah.
so
Codger.
good.
But they yell at each other, and
Snot-nosed little brat. Yeah, classic.
they start yelling at each other, and like kind of like get into a little match here. And then Rydia's like, Edge, please, this man is injured. like arguing with the guy who's like broken and sick in bed.
How does Sid respond to that?
Yeah, and then Sid says, so
Like Kane actually says he has a foul mouth, but the matter of his royalty seems true enough.
yeah.
And then Edge is like, let's not forget my dashing looks and mystifying skills.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, Rydia does say Edge, please.
And then Sid's like, oh, so Rydia's already got you whipped, huh? And I'm like, This game seems to be setting something up very quickly. Like in a weird way.
It says reined in with that pretty little face of hers is what Sid says.
Yeah, on one of them, yeah.
Can you blame him?
Yeah, can you
just
blame
saying.
him? Absolutely not.
Actually, my favorite thing that I heard you say in a past podcast is once you get Rydia in your party, push the button until she's your character on the map. That's how I've always played the game.
Yeah, it's
You
the
have
right way
to.
to play.
It's the
right way to
canonical
play.
way.
Speaking of, because of that, in the dev room, there's like the son of the directors down there, And if you talk to him, like, oh, I'm just here because my dad like lets me hang out. But if you're playing as Rydia, he'll like walk up to like, hey, you're pretty. Can we go on a date?
Really?
Aww.
Incredible.
Rydia confirmed best girl canonically.
Yeah, yeah, canonically, yeah. So you have the conversation with him. You explain kind of what happened, that we stole a ship, but it can't cross the magma, right? And Sid like hears that and is just like, oh, that sounds like a job for me then. Time to get up and go fix this ship and make it be able to cross the magma. And like the dwarves try to stop him. They're like, no, sir, you can't go out yet. And they like try to restrain him. Like in the 2D version, it's very funny because they're like on either side of him and he's clearly like dragging them along as he like runs out of the room very slowly. And he's like, nope, gotta go fix this ship.
I like that, yeah, he's like, there's no time to be lounging about. If you want me on my back again, you best come and lend me a hand.
Yep. But
choice of words though.
But we do get a very cute little cutscene that we're kind of put into, showing Sid and the dwarves working on the ship. And he like at some point in the mechanics of it, he pulls Edge aside, and like Edge clearly does not want to work on this ship, but he's like, no, you're gonna work on this ship with me now. Now start doing this stuff. And so he like drafts Edge into it, and then one of the dwarves falls off the like bridge that like they're standing on. It's very Moomba from FF8 energy.
Oh, hell yeah.
Cecil didn't look like he wanted to work either. He's just kind of staying in one spot the whole time.
Yeah.
I wonder if Cecil's like, anytime I've done anything, it's gone horribly wrong, and my friends have maybe died. So I'm just going to hang back.
Yeah, it's right for Cecil, yeah.
Don't hand me a tool ever.
But eventually
you get the analyze augment from this sequence also.
Ooh. Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Or you get analyze, or you can get other ones depending on if you've given Sid any augments during your playthrough.
Oh.
Indeed. Which I don't know what they are because I don't have it up right now. But I can look. Augments.
Oh, so actually it happens after this little thing, little cutscene after he gets tuckered out.
Okay. Tell me about the cutscene. I'll look this up while you're doing that.
So yeah, like as soon as he's done, he goes plops right in the back. He plops right back into bed and is like, that'll let you fly over anything you want. And Rose is like, thank you, Sid. And then he's immediately just completely passed out. He thought he was dead for a second because he didn't respond.
Yeah, in the complete edition that I'm playing on Vita, I think he just like goes back to bed right after that same way. But you know he's not dead because there's just a cute little bubble above his head that has Z's in it.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's like kind of a fake out too, isn't there? Where like,
when he Sid, and like, oh, he's asleep. He tuckered himself out.
There's a musical cue that makes it sound like he died.
Yeah. Because he stops talking. He's like, oh, I'm glad I got to see you one more time. And then you hear that musical cue, da 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 da, and you're like, oh my god, he's dead. And then the little Z's pop up above his head, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, I know.
It's a good game.
That's pretty much his reaction there is pretty much how I feel after like doing anything after turning 30 is just, all right, let me get it done really quick. All right, I'm dead.
Yeah.
That's it.
This may be the last thing I do. I got to make sure I actually did get it done.
Yeah.
But Rydia finds a note under his pillow.
Yes.
Yeah, and it says, I'm writing this letter in case the worst should befall me. If you're reading this, I suppose it has. Make sure you give all those baddies an extra whack over the head for me. We owe it to our late king. No, we owe it to everybody in this world, even these people down here with their lousy food. And please apologize to my daughter for me, for all I put her through with my selfishness. All my love, Sid. And then that's when we get the augment.
Damn, what a king. That's king.
Cool.
But yeah, you can either get, so if you haven't given...
I like that we got the letter, like, if you're reading this, I must be dead, but he is just like
yeah, but he's just sleeping there.
It seems like...
Have you ever gone back and talked to his daughter? Because she always makes a silly comment about him. I don't know what it is specifically, but she's always like, oh, yeah, typical dad kind of thing.
She probably has no idea that there's anything has happened because he's a workaholic.
He's broken all of his bones and he's in the underworld, yeah.
Just like all his workers we talked to, like, yeah, he's a handful. Just take care of him.
Yeah, it's funny, too, looking back where it's like we thought he was dead and we're like about to tell them and they're like, no, it's fine. Like, when he's
just overworked.
And we're like, oh, that's so sad of them to,
they were right.
And it's like, no, they know. They've been around him long enough to know that he's like, this dude can't die.
Unkillable. But yeah, depending on which augments, if you've given Sid any augments, you can get different augments from this scenario. So if you haven't given him any, he does give you Analyze, which is just your scan skill. But if you've given him 1, he'll give you Upgrade. So that thing where you can like change the elemental properties of weapons. If you've given him 2, he gives you Adrenaline, which allows you to go twice if you're in critical HP.
Whoa, that's pretty sick.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
That sounds like a speed strat.
You know what? I wonder what the speed strats are for this game. I don't know any of them for the 3D version.
Yeah, I guess it depends on if it's slow to get that, but
yeah. But anyway, we now have the upgraded Falcon. We can drive around wherever we want.
Go anywhere.
I think the first place we should go, or at least the first place I went, is almost directly south, maybe a little bit east, to the blacksmith.
Yeah.
Yeah, did y'all go here?
What's that guy? What's that fellow's name? How do you pronounce it?
Kokol?
Kokol, right?
I guess so.
Kokol? Yeah,
Something like that.
Kokol.
Cuckold.
Cuckold, that's right.
He's also napping. He's a sleepy guy, right?
Everybody down here napping.
Oh, all sleepyheads. I mean, it's very hot.
It's very warm.
Yeah.
It's like an incubator. I'd be put
it's
to
like
sleep.
a sauna, you just kind of want to relax. It looks like in Japanese his name is Kukuro.
Oh, okay. I took a shower right before I went to bed last night, and the cat jumped up in the bed with me, right? And like, there was just one giant sweaty spot on my body when I woke up this morning where the cat was the whole time, and I was just like, oh, goopy, and like had to like wipe it off. There was so much sweat. So I definitely get the idea that like, oh, warm makes you want to sleep. Everybody down here is just waking up like, ugh.
But cock or
Coco.
What?
KK
Slider.
KK Slider.
KK Slider's down here. He's the blacksmith of the Underworld. But basically he lives in like this singular house. There's not even like a town that surrounds it, right?
It has grass and shit in a well, which I'm like curious, like what's in that well? Because in another town they say like, oh yeah, there's water in the overworld. How weird! Like,
oh yeah,
they say like the seas in your world are blue. That's disgusting.
Wait, and it's a center of the planet. So what's below the center?
That's where the bedrock is that you can't go any further than in.
It goes to the underworld. You got to drop another magma stone down that one.
Yeah, we got to find where we dropped the magma stone down here.
They get their
down that well.
They get their Minecraft diamonms.
Yeah, I guess this is kind of like that.
Is that the joke that you made, Carl? I'm sorry. When you said bedrock, it made me think of Minecraft. I'm sorry.
That's yeah.
I was like, I don't know if that was specifically what he was mentioning, so I'm going to try it again.
But yeah, we can't really do much here. A few of the guys say like, this is the home of Cockle, the finest smith in the world has never known. Lolly lay low. But yeah, if you talk to Mr. K right here in the bed, he says, my smithing days are done. What could it do for me to forge another sword? I cannot find the legendary adamantite, and without it I can do no greater work. Which we've heard of that
indeed
before, right?
In every Final Fantasy game this far.
Oh really? I only remember it from one.
There's an item of it in multiple ones, I believe. Well, I could be wrong about that. Let me see.
No, I think you're right. I'm pretty sure it's in. Let's see. It appears
Adamantoise.
Yeah, it appears.
That's what I was thinking.
1, 3, 4, 5, 8. The best one. It's in Crisis Core apparently. The other best one. 9, 12. Yeah, it's in a lot of them.
Gotcha.
But in terms of ones that we've covered, not so much.
Okay.
Only Final Fantasy 1 is so far as we've encountered on this podcast.
Fair enough.
For a super weapon, if I recall.
Yeah.
We can't do much.
Can't do much here, but we know. There's also another town down here. Did you guys visit
just
this place?
directly west, right?
Yeah. Do you remember the name of the town? I don't.
Oh man.
Tomra,
yeah. Toomba.
The video game about the little caveman.
I think they repurposed that name in FF14 at some point.
Oh,
nice.
The FF14 is the ultimate kind of like entire series love letter. It really is just like
the greatest hits.
The greatest hits, yeah.
Yeah, it is. I just checked. Wow, I didn't realize that.
Huh.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in 14.
Yeah, and as for this town, I feel like there's not really a whole lot, right?
There's equipment.
Good equipment.
Yeah, you can really upgrade your equipment here. So I definitely needed to stop here.
There is a new catchphrase.
Yeah, they don't say lolly ho here.
Yeah, they say howdy ho, neighborinos.
Yep. Hanky Poo. Hanky the Christmas Poo went to my mind immediately. I was like, oh, no.
But yeah, people are like perplexed, like, by my mother's beard, where have you people come from?
By my mother's beard. That's such a good line.
They tell me the seas of the surface are blue. Blue! Just the thought of it turns my stomach.
Yeah.
There's also one dwarf in the, at least in the 2D versions, in the top left corner, who is running at like 2 or 3 times speed compared to all the other dwarves. And I was like, yo, this dude booking it. Like just running around in a circle, just like going incredibly fast.
Oh yeah, but you can get some. I think I had already found one of these, but it was an Ashura, which is a good weapon for edge. You can also the ogre killer that we were talking about. You can buy one here, but it's pretty expensive.
Yeah, I think this has the diamond set of armor here, right?
Oh yes,
yes, it does. Yeah, which is very good.
I got a lot of that stuff.
A homie popped into my chat while I was playing this on Twitch, and is a blacksmith in real life, and I was like, "Ooh, you can tell us all the good details about all these armors." And they were like, "Yeah, that would fracture incredibly quickly. It would do more damage to you." He's like, "Yeah, it's incredibly hard and can cut other materials, but if it's like wide and flat, you're just going to get a bunch of diamond shards that are very sharp in your body." And I was like, "Fantastic! Truly the finest armor down here in the Underworld."
That's exactly what I was thinking when I was like, that doesn't sound good, and it's kind of it's like 40,000 gil. So I was like, I don't need that. I was like, I got my good old fashioned ice armor here on Cecil, no problem. And then I went to one of the caves that we're going to be talking about.
Oh my god!
And one of the enemies was using moves that was just like one-shotting Cecil, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to go back and get that diamond armor.
See, I said that I think Diamond's just like the brand, like it's like Supreme.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
it's that real high end designer shit.
Okay, so the caves. That's what we're up to, right?
Yeah, we've stocked up.
Okay,
we got our Ashura, we've got our Ogre Killer, we've got Shuriken, which I guess you can just throw those, right?
Yeah, they're just a throwable item, which are pretty good.
Yes, absolutely. The speedrun for the 2D version does use a lot of edges throwables throughout the course of the run. So they did do a lot of damage very quick.
I got real confused because there's another character in Tomra that also says, "Me, I'm just a simple farmer."
It's Nobuo.
Nobuo is in here too. He's everywhere.
Yeah, that's where he's
in us all.
He took that hiatus recently to pursue his passion of going to the underworld and being a farmer in a small little town full of dwarves.
What do they farm down there, though?
I would imagine, I think ore probably, because they're so close to the forge, and I think in one of the versions of the game you can buy like
crypto.
Crypto.
Oh no.
Yeah, there's tons of energy down there.
Well, yeah, I guess you wouldn't really be called a farmer if you're farming ore, right?
No, I don't think so.
None of this is adding up at all.
Oh, these are all miners.
They're all miners.
Where are their parents?
Yeah. Anyway, before we go to the caves, do we want to use an inn or something just to get ready? Probably be a pretty good idea, I think.
Yeah, these things are a little rough.
They can be a little bit rough at this point in time.
A little long.
So let's.
This is going to be a short episode because of just a lot of side little stuff. Fill in the gaps, but we'll come back.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's hit the end of Tomura before is it Tomura? That's Tetsuo Netsumo Tomura.
I think in one of them, in one of the translations, it's Tomura. So it doesn't matter.
Tomare. Let's go take the end there.
Okay.
So it turns out Tomra does not have an inn, but luckily we have some cottages and some tents, so we can just use one of those right outside of this cave. That's what in the northwest, right?
You want to do the northwestern one first?
Okay, we're going to the
Sylphs Cave.
Yeah, like we use our Sylph scope to find it, right?
That's right. That we get from the president of the Sylph company.
Yeah.
Wait, does he give you the Sylph? No, he gives you the Master Ball. Where do you get the Sylph?
I think you get it from Team Rocket, from Rocket's hideout.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, someone will correct us. I feel like that's a very knowable thing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Peter will tell us.
Yeah.
Thanks, Peter.
Shoutouts to Peter.
So, there are 2 caves, and they're both north of here, and then there's one like in the middle of a like a magma ocean, and the other one is further toward the northwest. So I guess we're gonna go to the northwest one first, which is the Sylphs Cave. And if you are coming here right after the Tower of Babel, it's highly possible that this is going to be a very difficult area.
Sure is.
We're kind of we're kind of covering it right now, just because it's a thing we can do when it's on the way, and there will be like some stopping back by later. But there are some really good items in both of these caves, and so I think it's worth it to check them out now, and I think this is an appropriate time in the podcast, at least, to visit.
Yeah, so what should we talk about first? Enemies or just the main thing with this cave? Or these caves,
I think I'd like to talk about the floor.
Yeah, yeah.
Do y'all remember what level around about you were when you got here?
Too low. I
was too low, but I leveled fast in there.
You do level fast in here.
I was at a level where every encounter I was running because I also didn't know how to.
Really?
I was just thinking in terms of Final Fantasy 1. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. This is like an optional dungeon, and it's a throwback to those bullshit dungeons in Final Fantasy 1 where you take one step and you get hurt. So anytime I got into any encounters, I was like, I need to get the fuck out of this. And I would just run. I was like, okay, now this is a pay to win cave because I'm just going to be dropping gil like crazy, but it doesn't matter.
You know, you don't drop that much gil when you run.
You really
I feel
don't.
like it's like, yeah, it's not that bad. I think.
Pixel Remaster, they removed that. You don't, when you run,
really,
you don't lose money.
Oh, nice. That's really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I got big kind of Cavern of the Stolen Faith vibes from this place because it was just like very intense enemies. It was very noxious. There's lots of fumes everywhere because the floor is poison.
The floor is poison, and it does a significant amount of damage. It's not like 1 damage per like tile. It's like a decent amount.
I'm pretty sure in my version, at least, it was 50 per tile.
Yeah,
and
something like that.
I only have like 1,000 HP on the high end, so
yeah, on the high end, yeah. So kind of tough right now, and I will say that Rosa does learn float, and float allows you to walk over these tiles.
Yes,
so that's like the strategy.
I had enough levels to have already known float for Rosa,
I did not.
But I didn't know that you could do that until like going pretty deep into the cave and then like going out.
I was gonna say, how did you guys figure it out? Because as a kid, and keep in mind, I was a kid, very young. I didn't know that, so I don't really. I don't know how I made it through there. I'm really impressed with my young self.
I feel like you probably just like brute forced it. Like you like
probably
became a god gamer.
It's like I guess I just gotta buy more potions.
Yeah.
And just recharge every few steps. But yeah, I think I just, because I was looking up a walkthrough, because like these caves are pretty windy and there's a lot of kind of secrets and dead ends, and so in the midst of that I felt like, oh yeah, you can just use float if Rosa knows it. And
it's very easy to get lost.
I wonder if you have to cast it on the entire party or just whoever's the walker.
You
the
can
entire party.
Cast it on the entire party.
Oh, that's what I've always done is everyone.
Yeah.
I did not know. I guess like Shell and Protect in this game, which I think are the only ones that I've played that you can do this with Shell, Protect, and Float, is that you can cast it on everybody at once.
Yeah.
In battle?
Very nice. Yeah, in battle, out of battle, it's incredible.
Yeah. Notably, you can't do that with Reflect.
Yeah.
Reflect is still, you can only do one, but with Shell and Protect and Float, you can do the entire party.
It would be too powerful.
And outside of battle, you can do the entire party on Float as well, which only uses the 8 MP or whatever it is.
Right.
I had some rough time with the enemies here, so
they are tough.
We
got a familiar friend down here, the Marlboro.
Yeah, they are not friendly.
I saw the Marlboro and I was like, I am getting the fuck out of here as fast as I can.
I saw the Marlboro and I was like, all right,
he's cute.
I can take them. There's 3 of them. I'm doing good damage. I can take them. And as soon as I get down to 1 party member left alive, I'm like, okay, I'm running away. I'm leaving now. Because like the tides would turn on that battle so quickly. Like I would be like in charge, and then like one or two things would go wrong, and I'd be like, well, goodbye.
Yeah, a nice thing about these ones versus other Final Fantasies is that Bad Breath only hits one person in your party.
Yes.
Instead of the entire party, but
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, so at this point, if you get Bad Breath, you can either use a remedy, which are pretty short supply here. I think you might be able to buy those, but they're kind of expensive. So I was always like, I don't need those. Or you can use Asuna, which Cecil and Rosa have. But if you get hit with Bad Breath, it does every status thing to you, including silence.
Yeah.
So then you need to at least use like an echo herb or whatever it is to get unsilenced so that you can then use Asuna, which you can also only use on one party member at a time. So I was just like, no, I gotta get away from these guys.
They're not easy.
No.
Yeah. No.
It is fun in the menu. If you get out of that battle and you have all of the affliction on you, you can go through in the menu and see how each animation looks. So like you take like silence off and it's the frog with sunglasses, or then you take frog off and then it's the pig with sunglasses. If it's still
that's so good.
I'd try it out.
The deal with it sunglasses.
This Marlboro just did edit one emote like 5 times.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Sunglasses with the think hand on them.
I will say I love the original SNES version or the Famicom version, the frog sprites, or not the sprites, but like the portraits. I love them because like they're each color coded to be like the character that they are.
Yeah,
it's very cute.
Yeah, I got in a battle where I was almost entirely, my whole party was almost pigs, and it was awful. Worstly.
You got frickin' pigged.
I'm trying to think of what like those statuses do. Like with frog, I'm familiar enough with it because of other Final Fantasies, but with pig, I've never really like kept that status effect long enough to be like, oh, okay. It's just like, oh, it's a thing I don't want on my character. So then I immediately get rid of it.
Yeah.
Well, let's find out.
Similar thing. So like, okay, what's the difference between frog, mini, and piggy, says GameFAQs.
How's the ASCII art there?
I think mini you can't use physical attacks, but I think maybe magic still.
Yeah, I think maybe. So, because there are those enemies that are like the mini mages, which pretty much like they can do a lot of magic, but you I forget what their whole thing is, but I think it lines up with that.
So in Piggy, it does this status prevents all magic other than Piggy from working.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it makes sense. It's the same way with Frog does the same thing, or Toad, or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Where you can still use Toad, and you can use that on your whole party. So if you have most of your party as Toads, you can get out of that. But
I guess it makes a difference, like who gets afflicted with it, because I think Pig is a white magic and Toad is a black magic, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that would make sense.
In the Super Nintendo version, what is the item that heals Pig?
Is it
rations?
I'm playing a modified version of it called the Naming Way version, and it is the diet ration in that.
Okay, because it's called diet food. And I was like, what was it called in the original? I don't remember that.
Let's see. Let's see if I can find the answer for that.
Pig is a black magic spell, apparently.
Oh, it's also black magic? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then I guess it's basically Toad.
Diet ration is what they call it. Remedy also works.
Okay.
Diet ration. Is that another name for this thing? Yeah, it might be it. It might be just called diet food in other games.
I feel like it would have stuck with me. But is Piggy in any of the other games? I feel like it's the only one that you can get pigged in.
It says here this and 14, maybe?
As an ability, it's only in this one.
Okay.
So I'm assuming it's probably
4 and its sequels exclusively.
Yeah.
So interlude and after years.
They gotta bring back the pig.
Yeah, bring back Pig.
It does say here
16.
Pig eventually returns in 14 as a status effect cast by a very small number of enemies. When in this state, the player is unable to attack or use any action other than jumping.
Oh man, that's awesome.
There's a costume.
Not the dragoon jump. The good jump.
Yeah, right, yeah. Yeah, you can actually hop around in 14.
The pig status page in FF4 or the Final Fantasy fandom is quite good because there's just a lot of pig sprites here.
Yeah.
Paladin Cecil affected by the pig status, and it's just a very
he's doing his little shuffle.
Yeah.
What I love about it too is that it stacks, so you can be both pigged and toaded. Like that sucks.
Toad pig.
But yeah, speaking of Toad, there is an encounter down here that
I was gonna say.
Yep.
This is the one I want to talk about.
Witch. There's a bunch. In the 3 version, there's these 3 purple toads and 1 purple bog witch, and
ooh, can I say what it is?
And she will say, "Sing for me, my pretties," or whatever like that.
She just says "ribbit" in mine.
Can I say what it is in the SNES version?
Yes.
Is an encounter with a bog witch and 6 toads.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was 6 in mine as well.
I did get an encounter with 5, and it was a surprise attack on a hidden chest later in this cave.
Ah, interesting.
So it was quite a lot. I immediately got rid of the witch because she can, of course, cast pig on everything.
That's actually me in the game.
Pig?
Oh. the bog witch.
Yes.
Bog witch.
Yo, that's a good
witch.
sprite. Would that be you in the developers room, B?
Actually, yeah, I take back what I said earlier. I wouldn't be a frog. I would be a bog witch surrounded by frogs.
Actually, that's still correct because if you clear out all of her frogs, she just turns herself into a frog, which you can then you can reverse. And I'm wondering too. I didn't get a chance to try it.
To reverse the other ones.
Yeah, try the other ones.
Her sprite is very cool.
I like how she has like a devil stick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like the coolest looking vape pen.
The coolest looking vape pen. I both
3 version does not look nearly as cool. She's
I
just
both
like standing like a guy.
Standing like a guy. I both like and dislike this battle. I like it because I don't think that you can lose.
Yeah.
Because it's just every single turn, every toad casts toad on random party members. So you just have a random assortment of party members who are either toad or not toad every turn. And then you just attack with everybody. So like you can never really lose. But it takes like 10 fucking minutes. Like,
it's a long encounter. I kind of gotten to a point where when I came back here and stopped running from all the battles, there was something that we get in the next cave that I could just use over and over again to make short work of pretty much any encounter. So I just kind of did that.
Curse, did you say what the SNES name was?
the bog witch?
Yeah.
It says Toad Lady as well is a name.
Oh, really? It is bog witch on the naming way one.
Oh, cool. It's Toad Lady, I think, in the SNES version.
Toad Lady.
I love that.
Toad Lady.
Yeah, and of course when she's in a Nintendo game, she's known as Toadette.
I'm just a bog toad looking for my toad lady.
Yeah, it says her croak summons
Her croak.
Her croak summons bog toads to aid her. As she has no weaknesses, the best way to defeat her is with repeated weapon strikes. If a bog witch is killed, the toads stop all actions.
They do. They
That's
just
so
stop moving.
depressing. They can't function without their queen.
I know.
God, what a good encounter. It sucks because the animation is long and it having to try and figure out how to get out of Toad, and it's also a kind of thing where you're like, oh, okay, well, Cecil is Toad right now. I'm going to have Rosa cast, Asuna on him or whatever. And then as soon as you're doing that, they cast Toad again and it hits Cecil again. And you're like, God damn. Or like if you have Rydia using Toad to try to like back things up, it's like the Cups game where it just keeps moving and stuff. You're just like, shit.
I walk this lonely Toad.
Yeah.
But yeah, aside from that, I think there's just difficult versions of other enemies, right?
Well, that's all like the real crazy encounters, I think.
Yeah, there's the Marlboros, which look cute and kind of stumpier looking than what we're used to.
Yeah.
They're a little squatter looking, like little clams up more.
You can fight some trees.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's fucking trees. There's like that spirit enemy again. Just
the heads,
much,
the ones that
much
were
more
crazy
difficult.
bones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ones that were also in 10.
There's the evil dreamer, ghost ghoul guys or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those good.
Yeah.
Those are the ones I'm talking about. Any cool items in here? I know there was some weird stuff. Oh, I did find the Mage Masher, as it's called.
The Mage Masher, the bane of every Final Fantasy IX runner. Finally. There it is.
What is this
some
thing?
I think, this is just a weapon that has a chance of casting silence, right? When it hits.
Oh, yes. It is also known as the Mute Knife.
Yeah. There's also there's some pretty good equipment down here. There's the Elven bow is down here, just a better bow. You can get Medusa arrows that turn enemies into stone. Importantly, you can get the Avenger and the Moonring blade. The Avenger fucking rules. Did either of you equip the Avenger?
Yes.
It's great. You have to take your shield off if you want to equip it, though. It is a two-handed weapon. that I think Cecil and Kane can use, maybe Edge. But it automatically berserks you, and you just do a bajillion damage every hit. It's incredible. So I put it on Cecil, and I just let him go hog wild. Because I was like, his other skill is white magic, and he's not that good at white magic, so I'll just give it to him and just let him go nuts. And then every swing, he's doing like 2,000 plus damage, and I'm just like, let's go, Cecil!
Oh, that's so good. I think I saw that you could equip it by taking off the shield, but then I was like, it's not doing as much damage as my other one. Like, it looked like it wasn't as powerful as the other one by a little bit, so I was like, I'm not going to use that, but that sounds like it's probably worth it.
It's great. I love it. He was just, oh my god, he was doing so much goddamn damage every swing. I was just like, oh my god. So, love that weapon. But importantly, Moonring Blade is a throwable, well, not throwable, I'm sorry. It is a equipable weapon for Edge, but it does the same damage front and back row.
Oh, nice.
So you can put Edge in the back and get some decent damage out of him now.
Ooh.
Indeed. Yes, indeed.
So yeah, it's kind of hard to. There's a lot of chests that you can see here, in like different sections of the map that you kind of have to find secret passageways in order to get to. Which, if you don't know the float thing and you're battling these enemies while low leveled, you're like shit.
Yep.
Is there an equivalent to repel in this game? I know there's an item that makes them attack.
I don't think that there is, because I was saying that very thing. I was just like, God damn it, I wish that was here.
Yeah, the encounter rate down here is really rough.
Oh, it's so bad.
Especially if you're trying to find secret compartments or secret walls and things. You're just kind of like trying to navigate in the dark sometimes.
Yeah, right.
So there is one room that has 6 chests in it.
There is an augment apparently called the Intimidate ability. Random encounters will be halved.
Oh, that's awesome.
Interesting.
I'll have to keep an eye out for that.
3D only, goddamn.
Oh, this is about the...
You find that in Xanarkand at the very end of the game.
I was going to say, you probably get it once you beat the game on like New Game Plus.
Yeah.
Apparently, if you do the rainbow pudding thing for Pudding Way...
Pudding Way?
He'll give you safe travel, which I think also turns off
encounters,
at least in the new games.
Fantastic.
I think they're gonna make me find rainbow pudding to get it.
You're right, though. There is that room with the 6 chests. And if you found this room, you're gonna get some good items, but you cannot get to the end of the Sylphs Cave now.
Oh yeah, at least there's a consolation.
Yeah,
because there's multiple exits to this cave that just bring you right to the front, right?
They just bring you right outside, and there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, which is kind of annoying. But those 6 chests, I think, aren't all of them monster in box? Like, they're all mimics.
Yep, they're all pretty tough, too. The only way I was able to get through them was I just had Rydia summon Titan every move.
Nice, yeah, that's smart.
Yeah, which Titan, by the way, Titan does a shitload of damage. Holy crap.
Yep, Titan rules.
What a monster.
I think I game overed here, and this is after doing all the other stuff and coming back, because I think I saw it on your stream, Curtis, that you got there, and I'm like, oh, that's how I get there. But I got into an encounter with a bunch of Marlboros, and I was just like, well, I lose.
That's that, yeah. The only way I got through that was with Cecil doing the Avengers strats and then using Titan. Yeah. The only way I could do it.
But anyway, there's a way to get down to the bottom of this cave, where there is just a nice looking cottage.
Nice little
shack. A nice little house.
Yeah.
I always thought it kind of looked like a boat.
It does look
it's
kind
a
of
nice little boathouse.
Yeah, it has like nice flower beds in front, quite nice.
It's quaint. It's nice. I like it.
Yeah,
very pleasant.
I wish I lived here, honestly. No one comes to bother you. Although I guess getting Uber Eats would be a nightmare.
I was gonna say it'd be impossible to get your delivery food. Yeah.
You put in your notes to the Uber delivery person. It's like, you will see some treasure chests on the way. Do not open them.
Do not open.
I promise you, you will have to fight to the death. You cannot run from these encounters.
It's also probably kind of stinky down there.
Yeah, it's true.
It may be. Please only send delivery drivers with float. But yeah, once we're inside, there's inside that little cottage, there are the Sylphs here, right? Like little fairies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're all very like not squeamish. What's the word? They're shy, I suppose, and they don't like your presence here.
Of humans.
They're apprehensive. Yeah. All right. They do not enjoy your presence there. And they keep saying something like, oh, you've come to take him away. Leave. Like, you cannot have him. And you're like, oh, what does that mean? And if you progress into their house, there's another familiar face in a bed.
It's Yang.
Yeah.
It's Yang.
It's Yang. All of our homies aren't actually dead, apparently.
I know. We thought we got 2 homies killed. Kind of sucks for Tella. Damn.
Yeah.
Did no one tell Tella that this was a bit? Everybody's doing a bit. Like, oh, I think he actually died.
So I'm guessing he just fell from Babel or whatever.
They explain it. One of the fairies actually, I thought, says something about how they found him like nearby outside.
I think you're right. I forget specifically, but I think, yeah, like he survived the explosion, and I guess he just fell into the cave or fell outside of it, and they like took him in.
Babel's not too far from here, so I'm assuming.
Yeah. And you know how he survived the explosion in the gun room? Duck and cover. Get under your desk. Works every time.
No, he just did a perfectly timed like dodge. Like invincibility.
Yeah.
He had those eyes.
So yeah, Young's down here, but we actually can't do anything with him right this minute.
Yeah.
But it is good to know that our boy's alive.
Yeah, there's some good weapons, I think. There's the Kiku Ichimonji. A cool sword here, and then the Aura staff. And then one room in, there's just a stairway, and that also just throws us to the front of the cave
throws you right back outside, yeah.
Okay. I did look up how to do this later, but we can go into that. How to wake him. But
yeah. I will say that how to wake Yang up has a very small window, so that when we can do it, we should do it, because I miss it every fucking time.
Yeah, I caught B playing Final Fantasy IV the other night, and Yang just wasn't here.
Yeah.
So what ended up happening is I did the frying pan. I didn't go back to the wife after, because there's an item you can get after. I didn't know. I thought you could do that whenever.
It's a very, very weird quest in that, like, it doesn't tell you exactly how far to go and when it's done, and it's only available for a very short time. Very odd.
Interesting.
But there is one more cave down here that we should explore. That also is just 100% fucking damage tiles. I love damage tiles, you guys. I love them so much.
Well, there's 2 caves, but we're only going to talk about one today.
How many games do we have to deal? I guess, is 6 the last one with damage tiles? I think 6 is the last one with damage tiles. Hopefully we never have to do it again after that.
Well, considering most of these games have random encounters, I guess most tiles are damage tiles.
That's fair.
It's just some of them are instantaneous.
Yeah, this is not the Fey March as I've looked up online. This is actually the Passage of the Eidolons, or the Cave to the Phantom World.
Whoa, that's a way cooler way of saying it.
Yeah. Which does lead to the Fey March, but yeah.
Yeah, this is just on an island in the middle of a magma ocean in the kind of center of the map, right? Not
now,
far
what if I told you the Sylphs Cave, but red?
Hell yeah. Instead of green, it is red.
Same tiles and everything.
It's hot in here.
So this one isn't as stinky.
Yeah, right, yeah. The green means stinky.
It's not as noxious.
I will say something. I noticed something cool in the 2D version here. I don't remember it in the Sylphs Cave. It probably works the same. But the floor that you're walking on is transparent. You're walking on like a webbing. When you're walking through
it almost looks like a bunch of like tree roots that like are forming together to have like a makeshift floor.
You can see the approximate location of treasure chests on the floor below you through the webbing. Did you notice that?
I did not. That's super cool.
Yeah. It does not show if they're open or not. So like you can open a chest on a floor later and then come back up and like it'll show that it looks like it's still closed, but it does show the locations of them. So if you see one in the top right, if you see that the floor below you shows a treasure chest like in the top right area, it really is there. And so like that's pretty cool.
That's super cool.
Aesthetically, it does feel like 2 different like Zelda dungeons mashed together because we have lava, but you also have like in the 3D one, it looks more like spider webs covering the floor.
Yeah.
I can't see in the floor below. It might just be because of the limitations of the DS and rendering
Can I
3D
just
objects, but I
Can I
would
tell you-
love being able to see through.
Can I tell you a deep, dark secret about my playthrough this time?
Yes.
I had such a struggle with the 2D version that I just did not do it in the 3D version. I was just like, cannot be bothered. We'll do it later. 2D was hard enough.
Honestly, I don't blame you.
Yeah, it was rough.
There's not
It
too
is
much
rough.
to talk about the cave itself, right? There's some items, there's some treasures.
There's some enemies, there's some treasures, yeah.
Enemies, including those flying eyes, except they immediately try casting death on you. I don't know how you all fared with that.
I think I was using run strats, so
Yeah, I didn't have too much issue with them. The summoners are here that you were telling me about last time.
Yeah, the summoner showed up and summoned a thunder dragon for me.
Yeah, so they can summon thunder dragons, nagas, and just green goblins, like the normal first enemy in the game. So like the first summoner I ran into, I was like, oh my god, what is it getting ready to summon? And it just summoned goblin, and I was like, oh. And I kind of like let it just live there for a second and attack, and it did like 1 HP damage, and I was like, oh, all right, that's not so bad. That's fine. Love that little guy.
I thought there was Medusa, too.
Medusa's down here.
yeah.
I don't think I encountered them. I did encounter the arachnes, the
spider ladies.
Which version are you playing, B? I'm sorry.
Pixel Remaster.
Okay.
Right.
The minis.
Medusa's down here.
I wonder if they added them to the
Maybe.
the
Maybe.
remaster.
There's those gargoyles.
Oh yeah, those gargoyle guys.
The Belphegor.
Mm-hmm.
I swear I saw one.
I don't doubt it. I wonder if maybe like. maybe
I
the
feel like
summoner
I
did
did
something?
too. Didn't she also have like bats with her?
Maybe.
I feel like I did a lot of this homework at the same time. So I think a lot of it might be running together, but I distinctly remember that enemy, like the Vampris or something.
Oh, that one's in the sealed cave. The
Oh, that
one
might be what I'm thinking.
that
yeah.
she's kind of like showing her butt a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I did not get down here actually because it game overed me the first time and I just did not go back. There's an item in a chest that is a monster in a box called the Defender.
Yeah, I
Didn't you
think
get the
that's what
Defender?
I
Oh,
got
yeah.
before the Avenger. So I think I was using that instead of.
Okay. Yeah, and it if you use it as an item, it casts Protect, and it has plus 15 stamina on it. That's kind of cool. I think maybe I should go back and get that.
Wait, is that what I'm thinking of?
Yeah,
I
you
might
had
be
to
mixing
fight
everything. up.
5 Fell Knights in here in that one.
I
That was a rough
love
one.
that. That
Yeah.
made me laugh so hard because it's like, oh, cool, a treasure chest, and then you open it up and 5 knights just pop out of it like it's a fucking clown car.
They're all in they're all in that box. When they open this chest, we're gonna fucking get out of here and get them. They're all just piling out.
It must be like what the pharaohs do when they like bury their servants with them. Like, I need to bury my sword with me, but also 5 servants to make sure that no one takes it. So they're just there keeping watch.
You know what? We did not mention 2 of the items that are in the Sylphs house. Now that I think about it, at least in the 2D version, at least in the old SNES version. Speaking of treasures, right? There are 2 treasures there that are Yong's weapons. I got the cat's claw and the hell claws.
Yeah.
And I was like, son of a bitch, game, why would you do this to me?
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, oh, I guess we can wake up Yang and get him back in the party. But you can also equip that to Kane. But I'm like, why would I equip this to Kane? Or
Can
not
you equip it to
not,
Kane?
Not Kane, Edge.
I
Sorry.
didn't know that.
There's too
Oh,
many.
really?
There's too many characters. Yeah, you can use it for Kane.
Edge.
Edge. God damn. My brain is. I need more coffee or something.
I didn't know that though. I didn't know that Edge could use the claws.
Hang on a
Interesting.
second.
Or is it can he throw them?
I
Maybe.
think you can equip them. I might be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure I saw that I could equip them with them, but I was like, I have these swords. I also just realized that both Kane and Edge are wrestlers from the 90s.
It all comes back. Yeah. I mean, those are like the most important things I think I found here. There's another ninja sword for Edge, the Kotetsu, is down here.
Oh, yeah.
Other than that, I feel like this place is a little bit easier than the Sylph Cave.
Yeah.
I had an easier time with
The
it.
Sylph Cave is very whiny. This is kind of a little bit more surprisingly direct. There's only like a few places to kind of get thrown off the track, but not as much as Sylphs Cave, which you can kind of just end up running in a circle or getting stuck outside again.
There's also a save point on like the second or third floor, just like right out in the middle of, like right out in the open that you can use.
Yeah,
so
I think the save point in the other cave was surrounded by the hurt tiles.
Was it really?
Yeah,
those exist for people like 5-year-old me who walked through it.
Yeah, exactly.
I needed that.
Where you're like, well, I'll use a tent.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, I definitely did when I was down there too. It's far kinder than the other one, I think. A little bit shorter, and it exits to the Fey March.
Yeah, I've heard of that
the
place.
Land where
you find a teleportation pad in the middle of one of these rooms, and we just kind of find ourselves in this kind of weird nether city that's kind of...
It's like floating.
It's like in a void.
Yeah, it's like floating in a void.
It looks like, it reminds me of like one of the Cloister of Trials.
You know what it reminds me of? And this is going to sound very, very stupid, but it reminds me of like a little Minecraft town in that it's all made of like the same kind of tree wood.
Blocks,
It's always Minecraft.
Oh, no. Yeah. You know what it reminded me of? It didn't remind me of the city that we find ourselves on after we fight the last Seymour fight on Sin.
Oh, yeah, the Euclidean city.
The hyper-Euclidean city.
Yeah.
It's very cubey and glowy, and there's glyphs everywhere. And either way, this place is not too big, but there's a lot of friendly folks here.
Yeah, all the Eidolons and the summons live here, and I guess because we're with Rydia, everybody's like really friendly to us. They're like, "Oh my God, Rydia, you're back! Oh, it's so good to have you!" Like multiple, they love her.
Yeah, she rules.
Don't blame them.
Further evidence that she's the best.
I like that there's like multiple of these, and then they're all shaped like monsters too, right? So there's like a bomb creature is just like, Rydia, don't ever leave again. I've missed you so much.
There's a chocobo too.
A chocobo,
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like what camp. You've never talked to a chocobo before?
Yeah. But I do love this. I like that like Rydia has her own life outside of us.
Yeah, and her life fucking rules.
Yeah. Like how many Final Fantasy characters have we like met throughout the course of these games that just has an entire social life outside of the party?
I think she may be one of the only ones I've ever observed just having such like everybody loves her. She grew up. They saw her go through puberty and all of that. So they know her history. It's cute.
Yeah.
They know her longer than she's known us now, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which brings up a point. If we hang out here too long, will the world just end if we hang out here too long?
That's what I was thinking.
I didn't even think about that.
I was absolutely thinking that. I'm like, how many fucking days and years are passing as we're just like, I'm hanging out here talking to the chocobo.
Going on the ocean planet in Interstellar, and we come back and the guy's already been there for 30 years or whatever waiting for us.
Golbez is out there just like, I really need Cecil to open the sealed cave already. It turns out like Golbez actually, Golbez wasn't the mastermind that we thought that he was. He just knew that Cecil would fuck up. He's just like, oh, I really can't go down there myself, though. I don't know how to operate it. I really need Cecil to come do this for me. I'm gonna beat. Like he's like a mean older brother who like is like gonna give his like younger brother like a titty twister as soon as he like walks out of the garage. Got you.
Jump out and scare him.
Yeah, jump out and scare him. Yeah. What's up, nerd?
So there are some.
I'd probably stay here though. I mean, it seems chill.
It seems real chill. It's real nice.
Yeah, I would love to stay here. I would be very worried that like I'm overstaying my welcome. You know, like I would want to hang out here for a while, but it would feel like you're like they just they're like, okay, it's last call. You know, you got to get out, or like after the Mage Hand show where we were all kind of hanging out upstairs, and the staff at Milk Boy was like, well, you know, guys, like, if you're not in the band, you got to go downstairs. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Although I will say, like, I feel like our metric that we measure all towns in Final Fantasy games by is the metric of how would it be to, like, app order food to it.
Yeah, this would.
And I feel like this might be one of the worst because not only do they have to go through this, like, tangled maze cave, your like estimation on when your food will arrive will be like 2 years from now.
It's gonna be cold.
Well, it'll yeah. Well, I mean, it's in the Underworld. It might be hot.
Well, that's right. It would always arrive cold because like it would basically arrive as soon as you hit enter because time is moving faster outside of the space.
Well, no, it's moving faster for you, right? Because like a year for you is only like a day for the outside world. So it would actually like to everyone else on the outside it would arrive at normal time, but to you it would take like an entire year.
That's right.
Literally just what happened to you during that one episode that we were recording.
That's right. Maybe that is what happened to me when I ordered that McDonald's.
You're gonna get that McDonald's in fucking 2 years.
I've been in the Fey March the whole time. No wonder.
Like, why my burger knows all these black magic now?
Both caves have really good music too. Oh,
they do. I agree.
My little one just shushed me.
Oh no.
Well, okay. That's it for the podcast. We've been given the our executive producer has told us that it's time to be done.
The Clippy just went to her as well. It's her.
Really?
Yeah, that's
the smaller Clippy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
What are your opinions on Final Fantasy IV, Tiny Clippy?
What do you think of Final Fantasy IV?
Oh no.
I don't know what she said. What do you think of this green-haired lady?
Pink.
Oh.
A rainbow.
A rainbow, she says.
I agree.
Sure.
100%.
We do need that rainbow pudding.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's got the pro straps.
She has the right idea.
But yeah, so there's a couple things to do here. There's like I said, there's shops, etc., inns, whatever. And there's importantly a save point that you should absolutely use and heal up. And there is a library here that you can read all about the history of the summons, the Eidolons, and where they kind of are. Like, I think every summon in the game is written about here, and so you can see where the ones you don't have are and maybe how to get them and deal with them, which is kind of interesting.
That's cool.
Yeah. And there's
it's
importantly...
nice that they kind of tell you where to find them, even though they all live here.
Yeah, right. And importantly, there is a warp tile in the library, right? That takes you to a hidden room with 4 people in it. 2 little Jawa-looking dudes who say that you are standing before the king and the queen of the Eidolons. Mm-hmm. If you want to talk to the king, you have to get permission from the queen first.
Right.
Her Majesty Azura.
And I like that if you do go talk to the king, he's like, yeah, you have to talk to my wife first.
It's interesting. In my version, he didn't say that. I walked up and talked to the king, and he's standing there, and he's just got like a little like long beard like sprite, and he's just like, oh, you thought I was the king? No, I'm just an old man. And I was like,
yeah,
oh,
really?
Okay. I was like, cool. And then I talked to Ashura, and she kind of gives her whole spiel that you need to talk to her before you can get to the king. So I'm like, oh, okay, so the king's gonna be like in the next room or something.
Got you. So this is
But no, he just didn't want to be bothered.
Yeah, he's just like, nah, yeah.
I don't work here.
This is why I had to grind so damn much, is for this battle right here, because we're basically allowed to fight Ashura and then the king to gain them as summons.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
but we do talk to Azura, and yeah, it's nice. They're kind of meeting. We get to meet again. Yeah, and I'm sure it feels like a longer time than.
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah.
I wonder how Leviathan is not like Rydia. Oh my god, it's what? Like it's got to be hard for him to contain that since everybody else loves her.
Mm-hmm.
They just have the poise.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But yeah, Azura is like, Rydia, is good to see you again, and well. And Rydia's like, please, your majesty, we have need for your strength. And Azura's like, then I shall lend it to you, but I know I must first test your own strength. It is the code, and the code must be observed. Have you the courage and strength to face me? So you have like a choice whether you want to fight. And this is kind of like the optional Aeon fights, I feel like. In
yeah. This fight kind of feels very Final Fantasy X.
Yeah. In that, like, you need a strategy to win.
Yeah, you don't just brute force your way. You kind of have to do something correctly.
Yeah. So Ashura has 3 faces that alternate
so cool.
when she's hit or when she takes a turn, right? And they alternate between 3 of them that all do different things. One of them revives, one of them casts Curaga, and what does the other one do?
One of them hits God, why am I? Protect. One of them uses Protect, yeah. One of them uses Curaga, and one of them uses Raise.
And the thing is, as Ashura's HP goes down, she will more continually use Curaga to the point where it will be every turn. And Curaga will always heal more than you can put out, right? So there's just no way to get her to the very bottom through brute force. You just cannot do it. She will outpace you. And she does that per turn. So when you do something, like if you attack her or anything, she will use Curaga. So you're essentially just curing her. And if you don't do anything at all, she'll get her turn and then use Curaga. So there's no way to whittle her down that way. But in the 2D version at level 36, Rosa learns Reflect or Wall. And that is the key to beating this battle. Because you can cast Reflect on Ashura, and then when she casts Curaga, it cures your team instead.
Yeah.
And it's still not free, by the way, though.
Yeah, it definitely isn't. I kind of figured that out. And I was like, okay, she's only like casting that and then only attacking me. I was like, so I can get some like Berserk going on 2 of my characters and just dish out damage, do some like Protect maybe on myself, like use Reflect and everything. And it got into a point where like it was very similar to the end game optional bosses in Final Fantasy X, where I was like, okay, I have my tactic, I'm ready to go, and then I'd be like, and I just did the wrong thing with Cecil and I fucking threw the whole fight. Like I just casted like instead of casting like Cure or whatever on the thing, it now reflected back onto it and threw off the whole thing.
There were multiple times that I was like, all right, I know I'm getting ready to get to the end, cast Reflect, and oh my god, I cast Reflect on Cecil. I didn't use it on Ashura. God damn it. Yep. God.
So not as hard as like the late game Final Fantasy X like gimmick bosses or whatever, but definitely not free. And
there's that added pressure of time on these ones.
Yeah.
Where like in 10 we get to like take our time. These ones you have to like think about it and do it now.
Yeah.
Or else, she'll be back to full health again. Which sucks.
Exactly. But yeah, Ashura, not terribly, terribly bad. That's the strategy. You do need Wall. You need to level Rose up to that point. And then we're allowed to fight the king, who, like you said, reveals himself to be Leviathan.
Yeah.
The one
big serpent.
The big serpent that ate Rydia forever ago.
Wow.
So, how about that? Which makes me wonder why Leviathan attacked in the first place. Did he sense that there was a summoner there?
That's what I was thinking.
I like to picture that she was in his mouth and he was like, this tastes like a summoner.
I haven't tasted this taste since a long time.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like Obi-Wan or whatever. Like I haven't had something like tastes like this in a long time.
Yeah.
Friends let friends taste each other. So I feel like he definitely would know the flavor of summoner without having to like have eaten summoners. He's just like, no, my friends, we just sit inside each other's mouths all the time. Like nothing weird about it.
Yeah, it's a big snaky boy.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking maybe he could sense that there was like a powerful summoner in the making.
Maybe.
So like wanted to bring her to the Fey March, and the only way to do it was to almost kill her friends.
Right. Yeah.
But
right. Yeah,
I mean, in his
too,
defense, the dude that was with Rydia at the time had just killed a fucking Eidolon and her mother.
Yeah, that's fair.
So you know what I mean? He could have been trying to protect her, for all we know.
Maybe. It's impossible to say.
Yes.
But what I can say is that Leviathan's not as bad as Ashura, I think.
No, definitely not. And we can summon Ashura now, which is kind of just it's like a dice roll, whether you get, Protect, Curaga, or the other one, or Raise on your entire party, I think.
Right.
It's just made me think of something I've never considered before. So you can still summon the Mist Dragon. Wouldn't her mother be in Feymark?
That's a good question. I wonder if it's like, if that was passed down to Rydia then, because of the same like lineage.
I wonder.
Or if like, just because the Eidolons live here doesn't mean that... Oh wait, it's a different Mist Dragon though, you're right. I don't know, because my brain's like, well, we killed the Mist Dragon. The Mist Dragon was outside the Feymarch when we killed it.
I guess technically that was her mom summoning when you fight in the beginning of the game. So you probably... But how did she get all the way back to the village? I don't know.
Yeah, or
maybe they don't have to go to the Fey March to get it. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be that. Because we saw that the mother was dead before the bombs went off, right? So
yeah, and Iridia already had Titan from the get-go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird.
It's hard to say.
Weird.
Yeah.
What if that's her dad?
Could be.
Yeah.
Damn.
I do love that there's just a serpent that lives underground.
Yeah.
That she just gets eaten by a sea serpent who eventually just like lives in like basically the equivalent of hell.
Yeah.
Pretty sick.
Deep in the bellies of the earth.
Pretty sick life.
Also, he has 50,001 HP. What's up with that?
The one's just a flex on you.
He feels like he does have 50,001 HP. It took me for fucking ever to kill him, but it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too hard. Like, I think that, like, with Kiraga every turn, Rosa can keep up with the damage that he puts out. Just barely, but you can. And the thing is, he is weak to lightning.
Yeah.
Weak to lightning. Yeah. So, like, Edge has Blitz. Rydia has Ramu, right? And Cecil has the Avenger. So he's just doing 2k every single turn. And then Kayn can like jump or whatever. I don't care about Kayn.
Yeah, Kayn was definitely the weakest link in this fight where he just kept dying. And I was like, it's almost not even worth using anyone to waste a turn using a Phoenix down.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt about him for this fight too. Kayn. Jeez. We don't stand a Kayn. But his thing is that Leviathan has two phases, not forms, but like he alternates back and forth between them. One is facing you and one is facing away from you. Whenever he switches, if he switches to facing you, he'll use Tidal Wave or Tsunami that does a lot of damage to the entire party. It's his like super move. And then when he faces away from you, he uses Blizzara or Blizzaga on one person. And that does like a decent amount of damage too.
So it's interesting is that he's facing you or not facing you in that version, because in mine it was that he will be just by himself, and then when it's a different form, he's opening his mouth.
Oh, really?
That's right. Yeah. If you look at the fandom page, it kind of shows a GIF of it where it's just like the slightest little open mouth. It's pretty good.
It's been creeping me out because I have it open. And every time it opens its mouth, I'm like, wait. It moved. It's weird.
It's just slow enough that you're not sure.
Yeah. Like one of those creepy paintings that the eyes follow you.
But yeah, he's not that bad. And once you beat him, you get to be able to summon Leviathan.
Yep. Which
fantastic.
Is very handy in the Sylvan Cave when you have to fight enemies that you're not really good enough to beat. Like
3 Malboros.
Yeah, exactly.
Super cool.
He's also susceptible to slow, importantly.
Yeah. Big help.
Yeah. So that's all for those fights. There is one other location that I think is interesting in the Fey March. On the first screen that we get to, like when we first come to the Fey March, there is a hidden warp tile. Did y'all find that one?
Yes, I did. Yeah. It's like slightly...
It goes to the 3rd floor?
It's slightly discolored.
Yeah, it's slightly noticeable.
Yeah, it goes to like the 3rd floor, B1 or whatever the hell you want to call it. Because like this one, interestingly, like what's kind of neat about the Fey March is on the 2nd floor, you can see the 1st floor below you. And on the 1st floor, you can see the 3rd floor below you. And on the 3rd floor, you can see the 2nd floor below you. So it's very like weird in that way. It's got some hyperbolic geometry.
You just see the next floor.
Yeah. But it takes you down to 1 floor, and there are some extra treasure chests there, and a warp tile that takes you right back outside again.
Yep.
Which you absolutely can accidentally take as soon as you get here, and then have to go through the whole damn cave again.
Which I absolutely did.
Buddy, me too.
Same.
Yep.
So on the DS version, that house that has the save tile on it, that is where White lives. So
that's cute.
That's where Sans Undertale lives.
Yeah, so because White and his mom and dad are in there.
His mom and dad are in there? That's amazing.
Yeah, I go in and Rydia's like, this is White's home. His father over there, and his mother is asleep in bed. And then she's like, I'll interpret, because like his dad is just start going meow, 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 meow.
Oh, he's like a little Animal Crossing. Oh,
that's so good.
And he says, I am White's father. Thank you for always looking after him. We are what is known as whitekin, the buds from which all Eidolons bloom.
They're my buds.
As whitekin grow, they metamorphosize into other types of Eidolons according to their own attributes. Ourselves, we are tasked with remaining in this form to order produce more whitekin children. So they're breeders. I guess. They just
those who have bred every summon. Is that what we're like? They're the father and mother of every summon.
They are sure. There's like the royal like political king and queen, but these are like the hive.
Yeah,
king and queen.
So they let's make an ice one this time.
But
their holy task is to stay indoors and fuck.
But my white is here and with just Sans Undertale's face on it and just looking over his mom who is sick in bed.
When you say sick in bed, is that a thing you can cure her from?
Maybe, because it says my wife has been sleeping for a long time ever since the day she gave birth to White.
Oh, White.
My White. We don't know the reason why, but we're sure she'll wake up someday. How sad.
Huh. How weird.
She needs some rainbow pudding.
Maybe the pudding will help. It's really weird.
That is a weird
That's
little
a
scenario.
pretty weird addition, yeah.
I don't know. Do you have anything?
There's nothing that really sticks out. I mean, other than the fact that there's a rat tail in a treasure chest.
I completely forgot about that. That's kind of important. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I always wondered, why did they keep it in a chest? Why is rat tail delicacy among so many different people on this planet?
Is it delicacy or is it like Rydia went through a phase and they gotta get rid of this thing?
Oh, maybe. I mean, it works. The mini or whatever they are considered that are in the cave, they eat it. I thought they said it's a delicacy or something.
Like slowpoke tail?
Ooh.
Oh.
Yes. Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, is there a behemoth or a Bahamut in this game that we can offer this tail to?
Not that you can offer the tail to.
Oh.
You're gonna probably want to hand off that rat tail before you meet that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess actually not too far from now, though, we will be able to use that rat tail.
Yeah,
that's
pretty much immediately after the next episode.
How many games is the rat tail in, I wonder?
Is it just called tail in some games too?
Maybe.
It's rat tail. Final Fantasy. It is in
9.
1, 4, 9, 12, 13, 2, 14.
Really?
It's in Crystal Chronicles.
Oh yeah, if everything's in 14, it seems like.
Yeah,
it's in Tactics as well.
Yeah,
yeah, you're right.
How about that? And World of, which is also I don't really count the compilation.
World
ones.
of is so good.
Oh, I love the little Tactics art because it's wrapped in the little paper like a salmon almost.
Yeah,
like you get at the market.
So amazing. It actually says the rat's tail is a treasure found. Oh wait, never mind. It does. Oh, that's the one from FF1. Never mind, but. Okay, maybe it's not a delicacy. They just like to collect them, which is kind of weird.
I think they explicitly say, like, oh, it's a like, if you look at the item description, it's like, this is a show, like a way of proving your courage or something.
Yeah.
Mm.
So it's like a trophy.
So I guess, yeah, this is like our show of courage because we came down.
Because we were able to get to the Fey March and escape.
I guess so. Even though it's pretty quick getting out of here, too. Is there like this also has a teleport out?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yep.
On that hidden floor, there's one, yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, that takes us back out, and that's all the locations that we can get to before we move on next week to the Sealed Cave.
The Sealed Cave.
Sounds lovely.
That's the unevolved form of dugong. Yeah, anything else y'all want to talk about for this episode?
Yeah, there's not a whole lot that goes on. This is mostly just kind of covering our bases before we continue on, I guess, or find our way back to the surface.
Yeah.
Because I'm assuming that's the next thing we have to do, right? Because there's not really much down here. Or I guess before we go to the cave, the Sealed Cave.
Sealed Cave is going to have some interesting scenes in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. I think the only other thing I could add is that I've always thought it's really interesting how obsessed the Sylphs are with Yang.
Yeah.
They just they love that guy. He's the Rydia of that area, essentially.
He still has his rat tail on his head.
Oh, maybe that's why they're like, he's got one of those on his head. I wonder if you took him to the place with, if those guys would have like a visceral reaction to him, like, That guy is a rat tail.
Still rooted. Still growing.
Yes.
Still supple. Yeah, the other rat tail we found probably is like pickled or preserved in some way.
Damn, so Yong's all right though. That means Sid and Yong are fine. So our casualties are what? Tella, Palom, and Porum?
Yeah.
For now.
And Rydia's mom.
And
Yes.
She'll have something to say about that.
Anna.
Well, I
Yeah.
have the party
Yeah,
members.
Anna-
I'm into the party members.
Yeah, Edward.
Yeah, true.
I think he's still okay. He's just still
Edward's
bedridden.
fine.
He never calls.
Yeah, he doesn't
He's
give a
just
shit.
kinda-
Yeah.
Where's
He fucking
Edward?
just-
We have the whisper weed. He doesn't say shit to us.
Not even a word of encouragement, being like, "Hey, good job."
Yeah.
Just play some music every now and then. That'd be nice.
Just tune in.
Maybe it doesn't get a strong enough reception down there.
Maybe.
Makes sense in the underworld,
Could be
yeah. But I mean, we did a lot between between leaving him and getting to the underworld. He never calls.
That's true. Yeah.
Edward.
Yeah.
How like him?
He's probably living it up in Troya,
Yeah,
Oh,
probably
that's the best
so.
place.
becoming such an alpha.
All right. Well, B, thank you so much for being on this episode. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Where can people
Appreciate it.
find you on the internet?
I stream on Twitch sometimes at my name's Eyesonbee.
Which is a great pun.
Really good Final Fantasy.
Oh
reference.
yeah. Yeah, it usually takes people a few times to go, oh wait, that's an FF8 thing.
I think the first time I saw you in a chat, I saw that and immediately it was also a Final Fantasy chat, so I could kind of, suss out that that's what you were going for. And I was like, okay, that's either a Final Fantasy 8 reference or a Tupac reference. And I just I didn't say that at all. And then I think you said that later on in the chat. I was like, I was gonna say that.
No, so the funny thing is, I changed it because my original name was B Marie, and I got really annoyed because I'd go into chats and they'd be like, hey Marie, how are you doing? I'm like, why did you just ignore B?
Oh, yeah.
Why'd you ignore that? So
They think that's your actual name, yeah.
Yep, I guess so. So I had asked my regulars, I was like, what can we come up with that is Final Fantasy related but has B in it? And that was the suggestion.
Where B is the subject and not the...
How can we get people to focus on the B and not the Marie?
When we did an announcement, my husband photoshopped my face onto Tupac's Eyes on Me album. And that's how we announced it.
That's
so
incredible.
he still says that it's a Tupac reference, but
Oh yeah. Well, famously,
Incredible.
Nobuo wrote that song as an homage to Tupac. So
yes,
right.
that's canon. So
But yeah, everyone should go check B's streams out. It is a delight and completely chaotic.
They're wild. They're wild. If you like Bone Zone,
yeah,
you are gonna love.
if you ever get the chance to raid B, you absolutely should. Or
it's
if
the
you're
best.
lucky enough to be in her stream when someone else raids her, you want to keep an eye out for that.
oh right.
I remember, I think I started watching you back when you were still playing Final Fantasy VII with the all Barretts mod,
Oops, all
Yes.
Barrett.
where everything was Barrett.
You mean the actual Final Fantasy VII, right? That's 'cause-
Yeah, this is the director's.
Yeah, that was
This is true.
Sakaguchi's
True to the original vision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so actually something that I don't know if this is really true or someone was BSing me on it, but one of the modders told a story recently about how that exists because there was somebody who was on the team of the original FF7 that got mad about something, so he changed that. And he made every character Barrett and released, he leaked it or something. I'm like, I feel like I would have heard that before, but I hope it's true. It wasn't leaked to a lot of people, so that's why they say this is how it was intended.
Yeah.
And I
Back
love
to
that.
the schoolyard rumor. We've made it.
That sounds
Yes.
that sounds very similar to when Wind Waker was first coming out, and kids that I was in school with were pissed off that it didn't look like Ocarina of Time, and they were just like, oh well, I heard that they were really deep into development and they couldn't push it back any further, so one of the programmers messed up and turned all the graphics into cartoons, and then they didn't have enough time to change it back. It's like, that's not what happened.
So yeah, I guess that's it for today. You guys got anything else you want to say?
My apologies if this episode comes out a week late.
Hey, fuck
'Cause
'em.
I have a lot going on.
I was thinking about it. I was like laying in bed thinking about it one day, and I was like, if we take a week off, fuck them.
I have so much on my plate, but nothing I can really announce now except that I'm going away. I'm going away this weekend, so I'm not going to have much time to do much homework or editing.
Can I make a small announcement?
I was gonna say,
but
I'm so sorry.
Today. I'm so sorry, you guys. Oh my god, I'm two timing.
Announce your thing.
I'm cheating on the Every FNFF podcast, and it feels terrible. But I'm gonna be doing a new project that is going to also be a podcast because I don't have enough things to do already. I don't have enough to work on. So starting shortly, I don't know exactly when the first one's going to come out. I will let you all know. But friend of the channel, or friend of the channel, I'm in Twitch mode, friend of the podcast, Mutsky and I and our mutual friend Mafuication are starting a podcast called the VG Draft, where we do a fantasy football style draft of different years of video games and try to come up with the best like football video game team, and then like see whose team would beat each other, right? Based on different categories. So instead of like your forward tackle and your quarterback, we have like an RPG and a shooter, right? And we all make teams. There can't be any overlaps. And then we see who has the best team at the end of the week. And I
have a suggestion. Can you guys do a Blitzball episode where it's who would be the best Blitzball player teams?
The first person is just going to pick brother, and then or do you mean we pick video games to put in a Blitzball situation?
Maybe. I mean, I think there's a lot of options there, potentially.
We have talked about doing some special episodes for different things. Like maybe during like, I don't want to say what they are. But that'll be coming out soon. It is VG Draft. And if you'd like to, you can follow us on Twitter at VG Draft. And you can check out the song that I wrote for it, too. I wrote it in like one night where I was like, I need to write this intro. I keep saying that I'm going to do that. I better sit down and do it. And so I just whipped one out like really fast. And I think it came out pretty well.
It whips. I love it.
Thank you, sir. But that's what I got going on. I also am still doing the RPG challenge. I just beat Phantasy Star 1 last night. So we'll see what we go on to by the time you hear this. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, my band's been busy. We'll probably have something to announce closer to the end of the month.
Yeah.
About what's happening.
For me, Speed Souls Charity Marathon is coming up. It's going to be running November 4th to the 7th. I'm going to be hosting at some points throughout that probably. And also on Sunday, November 7th, I'm going to be kicking off the All Souls Relay. Tentatively right now, depending on the schedule, like as it stands right now, that'll be at like 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I'm going to be running Demon Souls to kick off every single Dark Souls Bloodborne release in chronological order of when it was released. So Demon Souls first, and it's going to be ending with Demon Souls Remake. So it's going to be super fun.
Great.
Yeah, but yeah, that's it for me.
Well, next week is the Sealed Cave. Once again, B, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you so much, B. It was awesome.
No problem.
And Alex, would you like to would you like to cast Reflect on us so that we can no longer heal ourselves and continually accidentally cast Revive on the party members, but never one of the party members who are actually down and need reviving?
Of course. Always to take one for the team. Thank you to Night Around for the theme music. Always a banger. Thank you, Nobu Uematsu, or is it Nobui Uemachino?
Nobui Uemachino! He making a spicy marinara!
Junie Nakano and Kenichi Fukui for the game music. A lot of good tunes this one. Yeah, the caves are really wild. Leave us a review on iTunes. There's people leaving some really good ones lately. It's been really, really kind of y'all. And I always enjoy seeing that people are still listening.
It always boosts my mood.
Boosts my mood. Also adds a lot of just pressure in other ways. It's like, oh no. Call or text us at 530-MATERIA. That's 530-628-3742. You can find us at every FNFF on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch, and YouTube occasionally. And I shave, but I just can't get rid of this pod stash. I wonder if I've been listening to too much every FNFF.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Thank you, B.
Thank you, B.
No
Thank
problem.
you so much.
My little one's really trying to say something. She's been trying to like unmute. But...
All right. Well, what
Let her speak.
We have time for one more thing to say. What is it?
What did you want to say? Why were you trying to unmute?
No, it's chip. Two. No, chip.
Chips?
Yes, I can get behind
Yes.
that.
What did you want to say about this? Why do you care about chips now? That doesn't make sense. You were talking about the microphone. What do you want to say? Say something.
I want to have chip.
Okay.
Chips.
Chips.
Until next
Chips.
time.
You heard it
Chips.
here first.
Chips.